So you may have seen it by now. Candiace from the Real Housewives of Potomac coming for former cast member of Married to Medicine, or I should say former friend to the cast of Married to Medicine, Buffie Purselle. We're going to unpack everything because I know a lot of people are confused. Why is Candiace even mentioning this person? Let's talk about it. Welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Happy Friday, y'all. And I've been wanting, I've been wanting and pressing. I don't want to talk about Bravo for the rest of the week, but Bravo just keeps coming up. It keeps coming up. If you are not following our community tab, you're also missing out on stories that I don't necessarily cover in video form, like the Giselle and Tom Brady divorce. Well, it's now official. There have been all kinds of buzz around this divorce. It's now official. They've both confirmed this on their social media. They are separating, divorcing, not separating. They are divorcing. And I just love seeing everyone's comments. If you want me to talk about the divorce, because I know you guys want me to be that guy, ESPN, call me. No, don't call me. I don't know anything about these sports, but I have been following the divorce. All right, back to this at what's at hand. So yesterday, I saw this unfolding, and if you follow me on TikTok, I talked a little bit about it there. But there's so much more to unpack here when it comes to the history behind this beef. I'm going to just say beef. It's not really beef. I don't think it's real beef. But the history between Candiace Bassett and Buffie Purselle from Married to Medicine. Well, formerly from Married to Medicine. A little background for those that are not familiar. Because only reason why I'm familiar now, I knew the story beforehand, but I literally have been watching Married to Medicine recently, and I finally got up to Buffy being, Dr. Jackie saying, and Buffy, you can relate, you're infertile. And I know all of you said, check out Dr. Heavenly's YouTube channel. When she was recapping and she explains, there was a lot of beautiful things that Dr. Jackie said in that moment that were left out. Fast forward to today, Buffy has talked about, her issues with Bravo, her issues with, the cast on her social media. And all of you said, get over it, you're done, stop talking about it. Look, it's America, as Dr. Simone said this past season. These folks are going to be able to talk about you all say it. You say it to me, not you guys, but people say it to me sometimes. Get a real job. Don't be mad at me because I've made my dream job my real job. Just saying. We know where it comes from. But a lot of people have always been in Buffy's comments saying, stop talking about the show. You're no longer on the show, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, Carlos King, Buffy, all of them can talk about it because it's America. And we all can talk about whatever we want to talk about. But it doesn't mean it doesn't have repercussions, Kanye. So Buffy has been talking about the show since then, and she brings it up every once in a while. Again, I think a lot of people felt for Buffy in that moment when Dr. Jackie did what she did on this show, and were just really just dumbfounded. And people have never looked at Dr. Jackie the same. I'm still on the fence. Well, Buffy does talk about Married to Medicine and RHOP on her YouTube channel and her platforms. So she was reviewing Potomac and talking about the incident that Karen Huger was talking about on the latest episode of Potomac, where Karen says one of the husbands, she didn't say past or present, she just said it was three and a half years ago, because Karen has her own YouTube channel now. You're welcome, Karen.
Lies!
Oh.
The lie!
That was by accident. I meant to, but I'm going to keep that in. Keep my fourth wall in. Thanks, Candiace. So she was talking about that part where Karen Huger says that a husband squeezed her so tight that literally her breast moved like to the back of her. She won't reveal who it is unless she has to. That's what she said on her YouTube channel.
A very touchy situation on RHOP 3 years ago where I was actually touched and made to feel uncomfortable.
So about that, can you elaborate on your YouTube for your subscribers? Like what is this?
The one thing I won't do is try and throw someone under the bus, because I said in episode 3, I went to my minister, I went to my husband, I went to my friends, I sought help. This particular person was Liddy, I feel like something that like that, especially if I've lived with it for almost over 3 years, doesn't need to be brought up unless I'm threatened. Unless you come at me in a way that, I got no other recourse but to say, look, we're going to pivot and put the light on you because you're not perfect too. But I don't have that reason. And I haven't had that reason in 3.5 years. So why do it? But again, don't come at me.
And a lot of people have been speculating. A lot of people thought it was G immediately. But we have to remember, G and Mia didn't come around until literally 2 years ago. And a lot of people are like, well, maybe they were filming. Maybe. Very possible. But I honestly don't think it's who we think it's the obvious person. Well, during Buffy's review, she insinuated that maybe it was Chris Bassett. As you know, this season, Mia, Giselle, and Ashley have been talking about Chris Bassett and his, I don't think it's flirtatious behavior, but they're trying to make it seem like it's flirtatious behavior. And I don't like where this is going because there are a lot of things that we can say about these housewives, the husbands, and all the side people. However, we can clearly see that this is not what it is. But people are treading lightly because we still want to believe women. We still want to respect the Me Too movement. So we want, like I've said before, we can believe that Giselle, you felt uncomfortable. But to bring this on camera, to make this a storyline, is irresponsible. And I think this is going to blow up in Giselle's face. This is, if it hasn't already. And I love the way that Karen was asking Giselle the question because she was being very sensitive to the moment. Well, I'm bringing it back. On Buffy's YouTube channel, she said, well, maybe the person that did that to Karen was Chris.
Following, I thought it was very cryptic when the Grand Dame did her shady interview and said that there was a time when a husband hugged her a little too tight where it felt like her boobs were being smushed. And that she had made comment to people about it and just decided to let it go. I find it really ironic that she won't disclose who the husband is. So let's run down through the husbands. There's Michael Darby. Why the hell would Grand Dame say if it was Michael Darby? Everybody know Michael Darby is nasty, be in these streets with all the children. Like, if it was Michael Darby, she would have just said Michael Darby. Plus, Ashley is divorcing him. So allegedly, so she would have just said it was if it was Michael Darby. So it ain't Michael Darby in my view. Juan ain't never around. Probably ain't gonna marry Robin Dixon. No, Juan ain't hug her too.
Maybe it was him. So I'm assuming this sparked Candiace's tweet yesterday where she was just like, some of these folks that are on the network are no longer a part of the network. She just stopped talking about the network, which a lot of you say too. A lot of you say that as well. Well, a lot of people wanted a response because not only that, Candiace took to her Instagram story to basically call out Buffy. She didn't say Buffy's name. Her person in the comments section was like, at the person, and then she added Buffy. And it basically said, Buffy or wherever she is, she knows I'm talking to her since she can't seem to keep her eyes on her own paper. This led for Buffy to respond. But before we get to Buffy's response, in Candiace's IG story, she had a lot of different things to say.
Never in my life. Oh, I got food in my weave. That means I'm eating good. Listen to me. Never in my life have I experienced this kind of obsession. This girl, Biggie Smalls, has the unmitigated gall to have me blocked on Twitter, but want to run her mouth about me. A whole me. Find you a 9 to 5, a 10 to 6, an 11 to 7, something to do. You are whack. You are so round and whack. I can't even begin to tell you. You have barked up my tree for far too long, and now you about to get what you asked for. Mind your business. Mind your business. Okay? Good day.
Here's the thing. I can appreciate a Candiace Reed, But the whole association to Biggie Smalls, the body shaming of it all, we see this pattern with Candiace a lot, and I wish she would just steer away from that. One of the things, and I think that we don't talk about this enough, I feel like in our society, people feel like it's okay to shame someone for their body, specifically if your body is bigger than other people. And I feel like everyone's criticized for all these other things, racism and, sexism and all of that. But people give a pass to body shaming. I think slowly but surely people are paying attention to it more. Candiace, you lost me when you started body shaming Buffy. Here's the thing. Even if Buffy was a smaller person and she looked like Biggie Smalls, then I could be like, all right, she kind of looks like Biggie Smalls. She looked nothing like Biggie Smalls. We know what that was referring to because she's a bigger woman. And I feel like, Candiace, you are intellectual enough, you are shady enough, you could read enough to come up with something outside of just body shaming. Well, it didn't end there because Buffy took to her social media, her TikTok, to respond to Candiace's comment about her and, finances and things like that.
This mess. I'm gonna start this off with this. Candiace, I know that the fact that I'm fat and you're fat phobic just really grinds your gears, that I even have the audacity to breathe the air that God gives us. And I know that you are still seething because I sat on the All About the Tea panel and commented on Real Housewives of Potomac. You seem to be the only one from your show that's so pissy about what I said on that show. I don't know why. But like people tell me to get over the fact that there was a public autopsy done of my non-functioning uterus, you should get over to All About the Tea panel. Additionally, I am not counting your paper. I'm always a champion of Black women making money finally on their own. I'm proud of you for that. But I will tell you one thing. Money is probably the topic you shouldn't try me on. Okay.
Well, she reminds us in this read that Buffy was on All About the Tea's panel. They had a couple of different panels, and Buffy was on one of them where they talked about the housewives. If I can rewind just a little bit more, All About the Tea was accused by, Giselle and by Candiace, reportedly, that they were paid and bought by Monique to spread this narrative about the cast, about the fight situation. I can't believe we're still talking about this fight. I can't believe that there's still all of this beef going on behind all of that. Because I do feel like on some level, it's still associated with the whole Monique thing. We just were talking about at BravoCon where Giselle was shading Monique about her, getting kicked off the red carpet from asking questions. Monique then responded on her YouTube. She was able to ask questions. She was not kicked off or removed from the red carpet. They're not even on the same show anymore. Do we see, I guess we see this with other housewives cities, but I feel like this one is just like, ah. Well, it didn't end there either when it comes to this beef, and I'm sure it's still transpiring right now on social media. So Chris Bassett then enters the chat. Okay, well, and some people like men need to stay out of the business. Well, it's about him. It's about him. So I'm going to give Chris a pass. So Chris says on his Twitter, it's crazy how people talk about you. Then when it gets back to you, you respond. And then they want to ask why you talking about them. Where are y'all from? And then he adds Buffy. And then he puts the hashtag RHOP, hashtag just messy. Have your husband get at me real quick. Buffy then responds to him and says he's at his medical practice running a clinical trial to get vets off of opioids. That's amazing. You know how we feel about our vets. He ain't got time for children. Okay? Y'all don't like it when folks you think are nobody stand up for themselves. Keep my uterus and mental health out of y'all mouths and we are good. Why are we playing these social media battles? Look, there are plenty of people that come for me in the comments section or in Twitter. I'm not arguing with people I don't know. I barely argue with people in my real life. You think I'm going to be on social media going back and forth with people arguing? I say this all the time. You already know how I am. But I get it. It's great for our business, though. But then when I report on it, I'm just like, really? Are we doing this? These people are grown. And I know all of you will have opinions. So many of you have been tagging me and asking me to talk about it. So here we are. Happy Friday. Let's continue this conversation below. I want us all to react to what Candiace had to say, what Buffy had to say, and what Chris had to say. And let's continue to speculate who exactly was the husband that made Karen Huger uncomfortable. I don't think it was Chris Bassett, to be honest with you. Guys, as always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.